Hi guys, welcome back. So I wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how to make a ruffle scarf using the sachet yarn. And you will see that I have 3 of these made. This one is, I will explain this when I start my new piece, but this is about 14 loops. So it's kind of a long one. I'm sorry, it's a 12 loop. And so is this one, it's a 12. This one I've made and unmade a few times just practicing, so it's a little bit more stretched out and longer. And then this wasn't a whole roll of it, so I practice on this one as well. And so I thought it would be a good thing to use to show you how to start it at least. So I have found these 4 rolls of yarn at thrift stores within the last, I would say 6 months. So I think these are older yarns, but I wouldn't be surprised, as I said in my previous video with the haul when I found this one, that it comes back because things seem to come back on repeat. So and that's why I went ahead and wanted to show you how to make one, just in case on the off chance you found one at a thrift store. So I have kept this needle that I used back in the day to make these. This is an H hook. Actually, it's a K hook, but it measures 6.50 millimeters. And this yarn that I just picked up I undid it. It says to use a 5mm knitting needle if you're going to knit it, or a 5mm crochet hook. So this is a 6/5.00 crochet hook, and I like to have the wooden handle. And the only thing you're going to need with that is a pair of scissors. And I also find it easier for myself to roll out my yarn on a roll. So this is just an old wrapping paper roll that was left over from Christmas. In the past I've used like a paper towel sized roll, but it was a little bit thicker, like a wrapping paper roll. For me, it just helps the yarn not get all tangled up when you're trying to do it, and it just makes it easier. It's a little bit more time consuming because you need to like spread it out, you know, from the ball and then roll it on here. But in the long run, I think for myself anyway, it really helps me. Okay, so as you can see, this is what your yarn looks like. So you do have to like open it up and get it ready to knit or crochet. So to start a scarf, you want to just take the end of it here and you just want to fold it over a couple times. So maybe 2 or 3 times just to get rid of those edges. Okay, so that's 3 times. And I know we have a little bit of silver here on the end. That'll be just fine. Okay, so you want to go to the top of this and make sure you have all your loops together at the top, which look like that. You're going to put your needle in there, and then you're going to count loops. Every other loop you're going to count. So we're going to skip this loop, and we're going to cast on this loop. You're going to skip this one, and there's 2. Skip 3. Get you closer here. Skip 4. Let me try it this way too. You're going to skip this one right here and go to this one and cast it on. Let me make count. I always lose count. So we got our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6. We're going to skip this one and go to 7, 8, skip 9, skip 10. And let me just stop there at 10. If you want a very short scarf, that depends on the amount of loops you're gonna have. Like, that's why I was saying I knitted all the other ones with 12s, or 10s or 12s. So like this one, when I made it a couple weeks ago just to practice. I made 14 loops, and it was so short, it literally came just below my neck. So the longer your scarf that you want, the less loops you're going to put on here. I know that's kind of silly to think about, but it's just how it works out. So I have just been doing the middle number of 12 and get a pretty good length of a scarf. Like I said, I just made this one, so it's not been stretched out. I only made it one time, and so it has quite a bit of length on it. So if you wanted it shorter than that, then you would add 2 loops or 1 loop. You could do 13, whatever. That's just how you decide how long you want to make something. So we're going to do 11, and we're going to do 12. Now, I do not have the gift of casting all these on by turning my needle. That's just not how, I've never been able to do that. So I literally just take my last loop. You want to hook it underneath your hook here, and then I just pull all of these over, and you're left with your last loop there. Okay, I know there's a more technical way of doing things, but I've never been able to do it, so I have no problem doing it this way. It makes the scarf, so that's how I do it. Okay, we're going to skip the first one, and we're going to go to the next one. We're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, I'm going to leave our last loop under our hook, and you're just going to pull the rest across and over. So you can see it's starting to take shape here. So I'll do it one more time. Skip the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Last loop, under hook, pull the rest over, and then you just keep doing this until you get all your loops on, and we will trim that if we need to. I don't usually I'm not going to use this for a scarf because it really is not long enough to wear as a scarf. Maybe if I did it as 8 loops, I might try that and see how long it makes it, but since it's not a full roll, it wouldn't be long enough even if we kept it at this with the 12. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my needle off of this. If you ever had to stop when you started one of these, you just want to make sure not to lose your loop. So if you can keep if you can keep it on your needle and just keep it in a safe spot where it won't come off, that's fine, especially if you were further into this. If you were almost done and you had to stop, you definitely don't want to lose this loop. But the way, if you save it, you can just pick right up with where you left off. So I'm going to take that one out, and I'm going to start on this one. And this yarn is really cool. It has this like a fur type edge on it. I don't know if that's coming across on the camera very well. Yeah, it has this really pretty fur edge on it. It's really pretty. Plus, I think the colors are gorgeous. So we're just going to, like you see, you have to spread it out. You want to just roll it. There's one time under, We're gonna do it 3 times. There's 2, and then 1 more makes it 3. And that way you hide your edge there. We're gonna find all the top loops together, okay? And we're gonna put our needle through there. And then we're just gonna start our counting. And then this just kind of rolls with you. So it makes it a little bit easier for me, but you may not need to do that. So we're gonna skip the first one. We're gonna cast on the second. 3, 4. There's 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'll turn this roller that way when I'm done. And there's 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, got my last loop under my hook. I'm just gonna grab the rest of them and pull it over. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the end of this scarf here, and then I'm gonna come back and show you what we do when we finish, when we get to the end. Hello, I'm back, and I am right at the end of our yarn here. So I wanted to go ahead and just finish this off. Let's see. 6. Okay, so since I am this close, I'm not going to push it any further, and then let me just do 1 more. And I didn't skip. I got 9 on here, and I'm not going to skip the next one. I'm just going to put it on so that we can make this tail a little bit shorter. Okay, so you're going to pull those through. Okay, then you're going to take your loop off of your yarn, and you're going to find the end piece here, and you're just going to tie these together in a knot. Oop, I just lost my loop. I'm glad that happened. You just find you a loop, you put your needle back on, and count, and finish this out. And I will say that I got about 1/3 of the way down on this and realized I was not gonna have enough yarn to make a full scarf at 12 loops. So I undid it, and I'm at 10, but I still think it's too short. But I'll show you when I'm done. And then I may undo it and make it 8 loops. We'll see. But I at least wanted to get it, see how it looked with 10. Okay, so we have our loop here. We're gonna skip in 1, skip 2, skip 3, skip 4, skip 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're gonna do 9. Except I'm gonna do the 9th one is not skip it. Actually, let me do it a little bit longer. Skip that one. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. All right, I'm gonna pull this over. Try to hold on to our loop this time. You're just gonna take the end of this, and you're gonna just tie them in a knot so it ties the scarf off, and it will unravel if you were to drop it, so to speak. Keep this so you can see. It's gonna tie it in a knot. And you want to make it a double knot so that your knot is secured. And then this will just hide in the scarf. You won't even see that on the end. Okay, so this is how long our scarf is. If you did not want to remake it, you could like stretch the yarn out a little, not just do that gently. Don't do it too hard or you could pull it out. But that one might be okay to leave it as is. All right, that is how you do a ruffle scarf. And I hope that you find success in finding some of this yarn laying around, or even better would be, like I said, if they were to bring it back and make it a thing again, because these are so easy to make. They aren't hard at all. They don't take too long at all. This was coming along really good until I realized that I was gonna have to shorten it. So instead of making the whole thing, I went ahead and just undid it and started over, and it didn't take any time at all to do that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.